Hi, welcome to another video of Nerdy Tech Tips channel. Today we are going to have a look how to install your own free version of Shopify. Now there is an alternative to Shopify which is totally free and self-hosted. You can even give it a go on DigitalOcean if you would like to, even on Google Cloud I think they have it. But what we are going to do is today we are going to host this on our PC in Hyper-V. And I'll show you how to do it in Ubuntu 18.04. You should be able to do it on 20 as well. If the command line syntax is a little bit different, you might not be able to. So just follow along. Do it on Ubuntu 18.04. So let's start it. Now to do that, you can see it's a full-fledged website. You need Ubuntu installed. So what we are going to do is here. Let's quickly create Hyper-V. We should be able to see the operating systems availability and we can select them. As you can see, 18.04 is here. And I'm gonna have a look under more options. There are no adapters. Make sure you have an adapter. This is a testing environment. If you want to host it yourself and test it yourself, this is the way. Virtual switch manager. Oh, finally it's here. Okay, so I'm going to create another virtual switch. Name it WAN, easy to identify, and make sure you have the external adapter ticked here. These wouldn't allow you to have external access, internal network and private network, so make sure you have this ticked. It takes a little while. Click on Ubuntu 18.04. More options. Make sure you got the right one selected here under network switch. And then create virtual machine. And we'll download the latest version or the latest image. If there are any updates that needs to be done, you can still do an update, but it will be latest anyway. So while it's downloading in the background, I will show you guys what actually Microweber is. Let's have a look on their website. What features it does offer. It will provide you drag and drop, website creation, no coding information required. You don't need to learn any kind of HTML or CSS, Java, PHP. You don't need to worry about that kind of coding. It's a full-fledged website builder, totally free, right? There's plenty of templates available online. You can download them and use them. And then there is an admin panel, kind of like a Shopify, provide you stats, like what people are visiting, what pages they're visiting. If you got products that you're selling, what products they're visiting. You can do a live edit, right? And then you can add contents, pretty easy. E-commerce features, you can add payment methods, shipping methods. There is a blog feature, right? Yeah, there are modules as well. You can, add different types of modules to your website. And there is installation. Let's see what actually they are telling us on the website how to install. It's pretty hard to follow these instructions, their instructions, I guess, for a newbie. It was pretty hard for me as well. It took me a while to understand how all of these technologies work. I was successfully able to host using Apache and MySQL using MariaDB, right? So I was able to host it. So these are the requirements that you do need, right, to be able to install this. There's two ways of installing this Microweber. You can install a web installer, or you can download the full-fledged installed version and just copy paste in your Apache server. I'll show you how it works. If you're totally newbie and you want to learn how to host it, I will tell you step by step. In the description below, you will find all the commands You don't need to worry about any command, right? Step by step, all the installations would be there. So we will put this on the side just to make sure we are not forgetting any tool that we need to install. And it's almost done. I will fast forward the video so it doesn't take that long. So let's go ahead and open terminal, type terminal. Alright, so I like to run every command in sudo, so I don't want to type password again and again. Okay, very first command, always remember, with fresh installation of any Linux, you want to update. Alright, now we want to install OpenSSH server. One more thing, we need to check what the IP address of our virtual machine is. To do that, definitely we need to install apt-get tools. Alright, now we should be able to check what the IP address of our virtual machine is. So the IP address over here is 10.10.018. We are going to open SSH connection to this virtual machine. To do that, go to command prompt, type SSH, type the username that you have on your virtual machine, at 10.10.0.18, say yes, type in the password, and there you go. You've got a connection to your virtual machine. We can close this. We can close this now. Alright, we have done apt update. Very first thing, what we want to do is install Apache. Apache, is that how you pronounce? I'm not really sure, but you know, our goal is to install that. To do that, you need to type this command, apt space install space Apache 2, and hit enter. Oh, sudo, yeah, don't forget that. Sudo, we want to run every command in sudo mode, and there you go. Just hit yes. It will install Apache 2. Now once we are done with the Apache 2 installation, we want to make sure this Apache server is running automatically every time you restart your PC or virtual machine wherever you are hosting your web server. To do that, you need to type systemctl space enable space apache2.service. Now I want to tell you there are other two commands just very similar. Instead of enable, you can stop the Apache server, your website will stop, and you can also start. Alright, these are the other commands you can also use. So we are going to enable it. So basically, if you know in Windows automatic startup applications, so we are doing an automatic startup for this. Let's go ahead. Now what we want to do is we want to check if our Apache server installation has finished properly. To do that, I'm going to type here in the browser 10.10.0.18. I should see a web page response now. Let's do it on a new tab. Alright, as you can see, our web server is running. See how easy it is to run any web server on a Linux, especially on Ubuntu. Just install Apache and there you go. If you got a graphic user interface, you can just basically drag and drop your website to this folder wherever this text, HTML file is, and you should be fine. You see there is a folder called var www html and index.html. That's where the file is stored. You can definitely replace this. You can definitely replace this, and there you go. But what we are going to do is a little bit different. We are not going to replace this file. Instead of replacing this file, we are going to point Apache to our desired folder. Now, before we do that, we need a database. To install database, run this command. Now the installation has finished. What we have done with Apache, we are going to do the same thing here as well. We want to run our database server automatically all the time. So the command is pretty simple. Systemctl. Systemctl means it's just pointing to the system process. Enable MariaDB.service. Alright. We are going to enable it. That's enabled. Now we want to make sure our database installation is secure, right? By default, it creates a test database and it allows remote connections to the database. We want to get rid of all of that stuff, right? So type this MySQL _secure _ installation, hit enter. It will ask for your current password. Change the root password. Yes, we are going to change the root password. New password is this and this. Now this password is for your database. Now the next one is remove anonymous users. Yes, we don't want any users left on that. Disallow root login remotely. We want to click yes. Remove test database and access to it. Definitely yes. Reload privileged tables now. Definitely yes. All done. Our database is set and our Apache server is set. Now what's next? What we need is PHP, right? This is a backend technology that you need because this website is built in PHP. To run a PHP website on a web server, you definitely need a support, right? Your system needs to understand what language this website is running and how to, render or produce that output. You need to type this command: apt-get space install software properties common. Well, we'll go ahead and type it. I'm a slow typer anyway. So repository. Alright, this is how you add a third-party repository to your Linux operating system. Not that hard. You should be able to just copy and paste commands if you need something else on your Linux. Now the next command is very long. I will just recommend you to copy it from the description. Okay, it's just the PHP versions that we need and all the files for the PHP. Pretty long command. Alright, enter. Yes. We are going to copy everything here. Basically this is a nano file and you need to find file uploads. Okay, it's not hard, or I would say it's not easy to find. So I would say the quickest way is you need to press Control W. Now it's kind of a search option here. You paste this, take you to file uploads. Now on file uploads, it should be on. So just make sure the settings are correct in this file. So as you can see, file uploads, I'm leaving it on. You can double check the settings in the description below, right? So we're gonna go ahead, allow URL on, memory limit. Over here, increase this memory limit to 256. You can even make it bigger if you would like to. Now to save it, press Ctrl O and hit enter, and then Ctrl X to exit. Alright, this part is done. After installing PHP and related modules, all we have to do is restart Apache 2 to reload PHP configuration. Now to do that, we need to just type systemctl. We need to type systemctl space restart space apache2.service. It has restarted. Now we're going to go ahead and type this command to go into phpinfo.php file. The reason why we want to add this information here is we want to know our PHP is working perfectly fine. After you add this file, Control O, Control hit enter, and Control X, it's done. Now, previously we visited this web page. Now we want to test the PHP. We want to type phpinfo.php. It is dot, not slash. .php. As you can see, working fine. Our Apache server is working fine. Our PHP version is 7.2.33. It's also working fine. Now, final step. Not final. It's the second last step before we start doing the installation of a Microweber. We need to log into our MySQL server and create a database for it. It's asking for the root password. Remember, not for your Unix root. It's asking for MySQL root password. Done that. Now we're going to create a database called Microweber. It has been created. Second thing you need to do is create a user for this. So take your time. We are creating a user called Microweber user at localhost, right? If you're hosting your MySQL somewhere else, definitely you need to type the IP address of that machine, identified by 1234. This is a password. You can type any password here you would like, but I'm going to type 1234. Hit enter. So that is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grant all the permissions for Microweber database here. I created Microweber database, and I'm going to allow this user to be able to access any permission or any modifications this user want to do in this database. So to do that, we need to type another command. Let me just make a few changes. I just like to update the passwords in my commands. So grant all on Microweber. All right. This command will be in the description as well. All the commands will be in a sequence, so you will not get confused. Identified by this password. Okay, we're going to hit enter. No errors. It means it has worked perfectly fine. So next thing, flush all the privileges, and we should exit from the database server now. To do that, you should just type exit, and there you go. We are out of the database. The next thing we want to do is we are going to download. By using these commands, we are downloading the latest version of Microweber. Now it's a zip file. Of course, we will need to actually extract that file as well. Before we extract the file, we are going to create a folder. Let it finish first. Alright, it has finished downloading it. Now we need to actually extract this file, and before we extract this file, we need to create a folder. We're going to create a folder in HTML folder called Microweber. This is where we are going to move and extract these files. Alright, now we need to go ahead and unzip this, and this is the location of the file where it has downloaded, and then we are going to unzip this into this folder that we just created, Microweber folder. Hit enter. You're saying it is just inflating like a balloon. So we are going to run new commands to give this folder root permissions. Okay. Now we need to configure Apache 2 for Microweber site. To do that, we need to go into this file, nano/etc apache2/sites available /microweber.config. conf. Don't type the config word. And this file is empty. How wonderful is that? But not to worry. What you need to do is fill this file with few commands. Okay, to do that, you need to type this information. You can copy that from description as well. You can change this email to any email you would like under server admin. It's just a user login for admin login on the interface. and then server name. Because I have purchased a domain nerddetectives.com, I will be redirecting my domain to this virtual machine to have free SSL certificates. Yes, I will show you that as well. And you can add server aliases if you would like. If you got some more, you can go ahead and add on them. But since we have only two, nerddetectives.com and www.nerddetectives.com, and that's it. We want to save that file. Hit Ctrl O, hit enter, and Ctrl X to exit from the file. That's all done. Now we need to enable Microweber site and rewrite modules. To do that, just follow along. The file that we just actually changed and made changes to, we're making some module changes to that. Just copy these commands and you should be fine. Now we're going to restart Apache 2 so the changes will reflect. Final step before we do that, installing Let's Encrypt client, right? We need to install the Let's Encrypt client. To do that, we're gonna go ahead and type this command, hit yes, and it's installing in the back. While it's installing in the background, I need to point port 80 and 443 to this virtual machine IP. And to do that, I need to go into the router. Okay, to obtain certificates, you need to type that support --apache -m. You can type any email address that actually works, right? admin@nerddetectives.com, that's my email address. And then -d, you type the domain that you're registering for to get SSL certificates, and then type the alias as we typed in the CUNF file, and then hit enter. You hit A for agree. We can say yes. Now it's challenging the ports that we just done. It is trying to see if there is something running on port 80 and 443 on this domain, and it has found the web server. Sweet. Select the appropriate number. So what it is asking, no redirect, alright. All the website traffic, I want it to be forwarded to HTTPS. If somebody types nerddetectives.com, it should automatically follow and send it to HTTPS. To do that, I'm going to type number 2. That's all done. Congratulations, our web server is running. How about that? It was nice and easy, right? Yeah, a lot of things we needed to install, but we finally did it. So let's test it. I'm going to type nerddetectives.com. Let's see if something is running on this website. Now I'm using a Tor browser because I don't want to turn on the VPN at the moment. It is kind of working as a VPN. So basically what I'm doing is I'm mimicking that I'm outside my network. Alright, we're facing trouble here. There are some errors on your server that will prevent Microweber from working properly. Curl PHP extension must be loaded, so it means the curl is not installed. Okay, if you see this error message, make sure you install the correct PHP curl version. We installed PHP 7.2. For that, we are going to install a PHP curl. Let's do that. Type this command, apt-get install PHP 7.2 -curl. That is what it's missing. So we're going to click yes. Should be fine. Let's see if we refresh the page, if it's working for us now. Hopefully it will work. It did not work. I think I did install the curl for PHP, but what about curl itself? Well, curl itself is a thing that you need to install, right? So apt-get install curl. See, I knew it. You need to install that as well. I forgot that. It's okay. Let's try again. Something is happening. Damn, it's still not working. What's wrong? Let's restart Apache 2. Alright, restarting. Finally, after restarting, it is working. Okay, we are going to select MySQL here, localhost. User, remember? What was the user we created? Our username was Microweber user. Password, yes. 1234. That was the password for our database. Database forge. There is no forged database. We created a database called Microweber. So we are going to type Microweber here. So we have finished filling up all the details that we needed. Next thing we need to do is click on install. And before you go ahead and click on install, remember we added some details, admin@admin.com in a CMS file. Alright, finally we are here. This is the admin panel, but if you want to check out what the website actually looks like currently with the default template, you just need to head to your domain. In our case, it's ondrej.com, and also you will see the SSL certificates are working. It is a secured connection. Connection is secure, right? Certificates, nerdy tech tips, issued by Let's Encrypt Authority. Totally working fine. As you can see, this is a default template. Plenty of options here. There's a blog, there's a shop, right? So that's all done. Let's look at the features. The most interesting feature for CMS is the payment options, right? How you can pay or how you can get paid from a client. You go into shop and you go into shop settings. Once you're in the shop settings, you can go ahead and click on payment methods. By default, PayPal is on. There is a Stripe, very famous. You can use Stripe as well. You can enable this service. By default, there is only one service enabled. You can click on, turn on allow pay on delivery. This is how easy it is. Should be available on the website for payment now. And you can add, if you want to add extra payment methods, you can go into their GitHub repository and download the files, how they did it. You can submit your own payment options, or if you have another company that offer some kind of finance, you can talk to their developers. They will provide you some kind of API that will allow you to integrate their payment option into their website. That will allow you to integrate their payment option into your website. So it's nice and easy. It's not that hard. We have finally, play around it. Play with the website, design if you would like. You can do the live edit if you would like as well. If you click on live edit, you will just basically go to the website and you should be able to edit options. You see over here, profile, admin panel, log out. You can basically type whatever you would like to type here, edit the sections, move them around. This is called live edit. All the features that are offered by Shopify are offered by Microweber for totally free. If you like this video and is able to host this website successfully, let me know in the comment section down below how did you find it, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.